and year out, the best Supercross riders square off across North America for 17 rounds to decide who is the greatest in the sport. These men put everything on the line for a shot at glory. And the 2012 season was no exception, as a star-studded pack of Supercross elite battled it out. The customary trip to sunny Southern California for the first race in Anaheim would kickstart the Monster Energy AMA Supercross, an FIM World Championship season. And after a historic 2011 battle, all the usual suspects were back to take aim at the sport's biggest prize. Last year's champion, Monster Energy Kawasaki's Ryan Villopoto, remained focused on the Supercross crown. 2-2 Motorsports Bel-Ray Honda's Chad Reed was seeking to capture his third Supercross championship, and first since 2008. Ryan Dungey reunited with his mentor and motocross legend Roger DeCoster and changed bikes. Now riding as part of the Red Bull KTM team, KTM had never won a Supercross round, but had to like Dungey's prospects of quickly changing that. After a topsy-turvy 2011 season that saw him struggle down the stretch of the season, James Stewart looked to right the ship in 2012. Stewart also switched teams, joining Joe Gibbs Racing and riding under the Toyota Yamaha JGR tent. With more than 45,000 packed into Angel Stadium of Anaheim, the brightest stars of Supercross grabbed all the headlines from the get-go.
The Nuclear Cowboys hole shot goes to the number one, Ryan Villopoto, the reigning champ, trying to win back-to-back Anaheim season openers.
While Villopoto was picking up right where he left off, another top contender, Stewart, had lots of ground to make up quickly. He'd take on the challenge and tangle with Ivan Tedesco in lap 4 in a fight for fourth.
Well, he's going to have to work real hard right now to hold on to fourth. Stewart with a good run around the outside, trying to power away, and there he goes.
With Villopoto coasting ahead, the next three top contenders soon found themselves going bar to bar.
Well, let's see if James can mount a charge back. He's not one to give up, and he's well known for giving it everything. Reed had a problem. So now this is a fight for second. Wow. We got three riders battling for second.
It was go time, like at that point you just I think it was right around halfway. And you just try to put your head down and regroup.
Reed right there on the 22, Dungey on the 5, and Stewart's right there on the 7.
While Reed secured second, Stewart shot past Dungey for third. That, however, wouldn't last long.
Stewart, who's got two of them, gets inside of Dungey, who has one. And now Stewart is in front of the 5.
These guys having a little issues, the 5, the 22, and it's playing right into James Stewart's hand, and that's what I love about this sport. Anything can happen.
Oh, it happened again! Down goes Stewart, just like that!
I slid off the side of the jump, and then just enough, a couple inches to the left, and just enough where I caught the hay bales.
With all of the mayhem well behind him, the Anaheim evening belonged to Ryan Villopoto.
Coming to the checkered flag, Ryan Villopoto's done it! He wins back-to-back season openers in Anaheim!
Anaheim one's there's a lot of hype around it. It's a pretty big race, and to win it 2 years in a row is pretty cool.
Villopoto's victory gave him 25 points. Reed and Dungey followed with 22 and 20 points respectively. Aside from Stewart, the top contenders had to be feeling good. Villopoto picked up where he left off at the top of the podium. Reed was in the hunt, and Dungey squashed the doubts of the skeptics with a strong finish and appeared destined to capture KTM's first Supercross victory sooner rather than later. With close to 50,000 in attendance, the two Ryans would grab the headlines at the start, albeit at different ends of the spectrum.
Here we go, dropping the gate and underway here in Phoenix. Who's gonna get the Nuclear Cowboys whole shot? Will it come from the inside? Oh, it's gonna be way outside, and it's Ryan Dungey fully on the throttle of his KTM.
The track was one of those you needed to get a good start, you know, and it was kind of technical a little bit, you know, being slippery and all, but bike was working good.
And down goes Millsaps. And who's that? Is that Villopoto?
Yes,
It is Villopoto's down with Tedesco, and that's going to turn that championship right upside down.
We came to the sand section and Davey had just went down in front of me, and then I clipped his bike going over that wall deal, and it ended up going down.
Short running on that number 29, and Stewart's down. Stewart's having a problem again.
1 centimeter tapped me with the front tire and went down in the sand, and then kind of lost all my momentum from there.
All the way up front, there was little drama as Ryan Dungey zeroed in on an historic effort.
You know, you kind of see the lap board and the mechanics giving you the signs, you know, how many more laps, your second lead, and then shoot, you know, once we crossed the finish line, it was pretty cool.
Ryan Dungey about to make history. Final corner. KTM has waited for this very moment. History is being made here at Chase Field. Ryan Dungey and KTM have won a Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship event.
I got to give it up for the whole team Red Bull KTM guys, because, you know, it was a long off season, and to bring this, you know, just to bring this manufacturer over to USA and trying to be dominant, and it's a hard process, you know, but got a great group of people behind me, Roger, Carlos, you name it.
After the win, Dungey was now tied with Villopoto at the top of the standings. Reed and Weimer were tied in third and 7 points back. Still soaking up the glow of KTM's first ever Supercross win, Dungey and the rest of the field heading back to California for round 3 at a wet Dodger Stadium. The race got underway with Dungey snagging the whole shot and Villopoto right on his tail. But before the end of the first lap, the race was red flagged after a devastating crash between Trey Kennard and Ryan Morris. After a lengthy delay due to the crash, the race was restarted. As things got back underway, it was a rising star grabbing the whole shot.
Who's going to get the whole shot? It looks like the Nuclear Cowboys' whole shot is going to go to the number 21 of Jake Weimer. Villopoto had a hard time, and he has got real problems, Jeff. He is one spot ahead of being dead last in this race.
Familiar foes Reed and Stewart would tangle early and often.
And Reed really putting on the heat on Stewart now.
Chad Reed trying to get to the inside of Stewart. Stewart goes to the middle of the track, kind of blocks that line, but here we go!
There it is! Reed gets by!
One of those races that you look back and go, wow, that was quite an easy race.
The 2-2 Motorsports vet would aim for Weimer and the lead at the end of lap 5.
Here he comes, grabbing a handful of throttle. Weimer looking to his right. He knows the Australian's there. He cuts inside. The crowd goes crazy. Good look at Reed's mechanic, Lars, encouraging him. Here's Reed again, alongside, cutting tighter this time. Wow. And he's the new leader.
Lap after lap, I was able to, you know, just do what I needed to do.
With Reed ahead of him, but still in his sights, Stewart would hone in. However, staying upright continued to be Lear, the former champion.
I ended up third that night. I ended up crashing myself, so it was just a rough night all the way around.
Meanwhile, Chad Reed would take home his first victory of the season, the 41st of his career, tying him with Jeremy McGrath on the all-time list.
Chad Reed entertaining the crowd here in Dodger Stadium. Here he is, 2-2 Motorsports gets their first win of 2012. Chad Reed's a winner.
Feels good to come behind and pass those guys and make it legit, and what a great feeling. I want to give a huge shout out to the whole 2-2 Motorsports.
With the win, Reed would move into a second-place tie with Villopoto. Both trailed Dungey, who led the field with 67 points. In a fourth-place tie were Weimer and Stewart, who both sat 19 points behind the leader. From the weekly battles across the continent to the interaction with fans, the fast-paced world of Supercross is truly like no other sport on the planet. We asked the sport's top riders to help explain what makes Supercross so unique.
I think what makes Supercross unique is the fact that rain, hail, or shine, we race. We may cover it, but we pull it off when it's time to go, and we get after it. Kind of this, stick and ball sport when they kind of get a little scared of the rain.
From a sports standpoint, I mean, just the uniqueness of it and how much the surface is changing, the adaptation that you have to do throughout the race, and trying to remain fast, and then dealing with the fatigue as well as it sets on, trying to keep yourself sharp mentally to keep moving forward. It's a lot of fun, pretty interesting, and ever-changing. So you never know what you expect when you come to Supercross.
A lot of sports, it's an individual sport. I mean, although we have a team, we have to rely on people to help us. When you go out there and race, I mean, it's pretty much you're out on your own. There's a lot of obstacles, you can plan for something, but as soon as the gate drops, it's something completely different. So it's cool, obviously an arena or a stadium or something where you can come here and check it out. It's a family event, and there's always something going on, so I think it's good.
There's 20 guys lined up on a starting gate, and they all start dead even, and they go into one turn. So there's a bunch of anticipation right there. We don't start single file where every guy kind of gets to kind of ease into it.
It changes week to week also. Supercross tracks, we don't ride the same track every week. We go to a new venue, and it's a totally different track. So you've got to get used to that track in about 25 minutes total practice and straight to racing, so it's pretty difficult.
Supercross is definitely different. Motorcycles in general, there's a lot of physical training that goes into it, and I think one of the main reasons is it's not a team sport. Once we line up on the gate and we take off, it's all the weights on our shoulders to perform well for ourselves and our team.
As the action shifted to Oakland, the top 3 were separated by just 4 points, but things were looking dire for James Stewart, who badly needed to break through at one of the rounds he won last year. With over 46,000 packing the O.Co Coliseum, it was Chad Reed picking up where he had left off from the previous round.
Who's going to get the Nuclear Cowboys whole shot? It's Chad Reed! 2-2 Motorsports, the winner a week ago at Dodger Stadium.
By the end of lap 1, Stewart had moved into 3rd and continued to press on.
And here comes Stewart now. He's got his sights on Short. He knows the rest of the pack's coming from behind him, so he's got to try to make quick work of Andrew Short. And don't forget, they had a little coming together in the heat race. Let's see if Short makes this easy on him. Oh, he lets him go.
It's one of those races that somebody's going to walk away with a lot of confidence.
Oh, Stewart right there. There it is.
For the first time since 1976, the Supercross season would see its 4th winner in 4 rounds, as Stewart captured Oakland with an impressive win.
On a very emotional night for James Stewart, he gets his first win of 2012 and brings Yamaha to the top step of the podium in Oakland.
It was Stewart's 88th career victory, putting him just 1 shy of Jeremy McGrath for 2nd on the all-time AMA win list.
I rode around and just felt good. It felt really good. The Pirelli tires were awesome out there. I was able to get underneath Chad over there, and man, it was just awesome. And I had a big chip on my shoulder with my mechanic text. Man, this is for him, Mark. It was a tough week. I mean, especially on Thursday, getting a phone call that he was passed away.
Stewart's win put him 12 points behind co-leaders Reed and Dungey, who led the field with 85 points. After finishing 2nd in Oakland, Villopoto put himself just 2 points behind the pace. 2012 was off to an unprecedented start. Never before had 4 former champions won consecutive races. It was a thrilling way to begin the campaign, and the biggest question lying ahead of Anaheim 2 was, which one of these favorites would win their 2nd race of the season?
Who gets the Nuclear Cowboys whole shot? It's going to be Villopoto. Villopoto gets it. That's Reed right alongside of him, pushing him wide. Reed comes out of the corner with the lead. Here they come. Chad Reed out front. Villopoto. He's back to the front.
Old rivals squared off again towards the race's midway point as Stewart and Reed clashed.
And the battle for 2nd is really heating up. James Stewart on the number 7 Yamaha, trying to get inside of Chad Reed, and the crowd cheers him on.
It was a case of deja vu. Just like round 1, Villopoto was coasting ahead in Anaheim. he would lead all 20 laps and snatch the overall points lead from Reed and Dungey.
In the past, the repeat winner, the first repeat winner, has gone on many times to win the title. Could it be Ryan Villopoto this year? Because he's the first repeat winner in 2012.
A gigantic crowd, over close to 59,000, piled into Qualcomm Stadium for round 6 in San Diego. You could probably call San Diego Chad Reed's home away from home. The 2-2 motorsports rider had won the San Diego round 6 times in his 8 races there. However, as things got underway, an unsung rider would grab the early headlines.
Here we go, live from San Diego. The whole shot. Who's got it? It's going to be Metcalf.
Villopoto would keep the pressure on the leading Metcalf.
Oh man, Villopoto, he's back on it again. He is flying here tonight. Now it was Jay. Oh, there's the pass for the lead.
Reed was also making a push as he began to focus in on the top spot. The battle between Villopoto and Reed heated up. With 4 laps to go, Reed crept closer, setting off a wild finish at the top.
Here comes Reed. He is definitely catching him in the crowd, getting on their feet here in San Diego. Villopoto to the left. Here comes Reed. All right, he's around Alessi. And Villopoto has not cleared these two. We've got a battle for the lead in San Diego. Final couple of laps. Oh, Villopoto stumbles off the corner. Reed's right there. Reed's got the lead by a nose. Villopoto takes him deep. Oh, now comes Reed on the gas.
Oh, both riders make mistakes in the woodfront. Reed gets through clean.
Look at the crowd cheering these two on.
I'm telling you, Ralph, Villopoto knows where his passing spots are. He's trying to get, here it is.
No contact and he's through. Villopoto's a new leader as the white flag is out. One more lap around Qualcomm. Reed tries to shorten up the corner. Villopoto's got win number 3 in 2012. But what an effort from Reed as well. This championship will march on to Dallas now.
Villopoto captured his 3rd win of the season, followed closely by Reed. Dungey came in 3rd to fill out the podium. With the victory, Villopoto moved ahead of the 2nd place Reed by 6 points in the overall standings. As the series shifted to Arlington, Texas, the top 2 riders were engaged in a classic showdown at the top of the points race. A crowd of close to 54,000 was primed for a night of exciting racing, and they would not be disappointed.
Alessi gets the Nuclear Cowboys whole shot. Oh, look at Reed on the inside. He's right there with Villopoto.
As many fans had hoped, the Reed-Villopoto battle was taking center stage.
Reed catches a little bit of it. Oh, what does he do to the inside? Reed is right there. Up goes the urgency level in the battle for the front.
Reed seemed to be inching closer.
Oh! Reed goes right over the bars. Oh, man. He had this one going so well. And Chad Reed takes a violent tumble here today.
The shocking crash brought Reed's chase of Villopoto to a screeching halt and likely dashed his hopes of competing not only for the title, but on the track for the rest of the season. Things were looking good for Jake Weimer in his bid for 2nd place, but the big lead he held would vanish with a rapidly approaching Dungey on his tail.
Dungey has caught Weimer. Dungey very quick through here. He's got the inside line and he's got 2nd place. Weimer comes right back.
With a mountain of distance between him and his closest competitor, Villopoto would keep his winning streak alive.
There goes Villopoto. He's coming to the checkered flag. 3 weeks in a row for this year.
Back in the race for 2nd, the pressure would heat up in the final 2 laps.
Inside here, could be an advantage. Contact, pushing by. Weimer said he was going to be aggressive. Here he comes. He's going to stand him right up. Dungey charges right back. Who's going to come out of this on top?
You know, I made the pass. He got by me, and then I was able to sneak on the inside of him and make the pass.
Dungey eventually secured 2nd from Weimer, beating him just before the finish, considering his tepid start, Dungey's second-place finish was astounding. With 158 points, Villopoto now led second-place Dungey by 13. Reed was in third with 128 points, and Stewart was now 42 points behind first. Ryan Dungey had to make his move if he was going to challenge Villopoto at the top. With an extraordinary crowd of 71,000-plus fans filling up the Georgia Dome, an out-of-nowhere wild card would be turning heads in the early going.
Who's going to do it here tonight? The red clay ready to reach up and grab them as we drop the gate. Who gets the Nuclear Cowboys hole shot? Seeley stuns them all!
After leading for 6 laps, West Lights rider Cole Seeley, a fill-in for the American Honda Muscle Milk team, would begin to feel major pressure from Dungey.
The crowd is into it, and so is Seeley. He's not giving up. Dungey, new leader in Atlanta.
The main event took off, and Cole Seeley, who's actually a lights guy, he led, I think, the first 7 or 8 laps, which is pretty amazing for him just stepping into our class for a little bit. But was able to get by him and was able to lead every lap since then, from that point on.
Villopoto would quickly follow Dungey's lead in lap 8.
And Villopoto is closed in on Seeley. Look at that!
Wow.
Look at the power of the Kawasaki's. It just dug into that red clay and rocketed him out of the corner.
The night's biggest battle between Dungey and Villopoto would give the Atlanta crowd a scintillating finish.
There's Dungey.
Oh, Dungey messed up in the corner.
There's Villopoto right there. He is right with him. And the crowd getting on their feet here. All 70-plus thousand standing up. Oh, Villopoto took a shot and it didn't work.
Villopoto charging RC or what? He's going for it.
This guy's going for it. He's giving it everything he's got. He cannot ride that bike any faster. He's all over Dungey.
Nick Way is the next rider in front of us. He did. He made a huge mistake. Dungey gets a little more breathing room. Coming to the white flag.
With Ryan closing in, I mean, I could see him behind me, engaging the distance, and obviously, it's, you can do one or two things: freak out or continue the race in front of you and let it play out. And that's what I did. I just tried to focus on myself.
Can Dungey get KTM their second win? This is the final lap. Who's going to get the checkers? Ryan Dungey looking for his second win of 2012. He's done it! Dungey wins here in Atlanta. KTM gets their second win in Monster Energy Supercross competition.
Holding off Villopoto for his second win of the season, Dungey now moved to within 10 points of Villopoto in the points race. It was clear that Supercross's last 2 champions weren't going to give an inch in the battle for this year's crown. Supercross has truly become a 24/7 sport for riders and fans alike. On laptops, tablets, and mobile phones, Supercross is always at the fingertips of its legions of fans. Through Supercross Online, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media sites, fans can now keep up with Supercross news and their favorite riders whenever they desire.
I speak from, a person that has my family and my parents and all my best friends in Australia. My mom can follow it on Twitter, get onto Supercross Live and follow my own tweets. It's just fun, like I follow them all, from our own series to a lot of the media outlets, and you can keep up.
As a rider, it's neat to really see how many fans you have around the world and to interact with somebody from, say Europe or England or wherever, and it's really cool.
Now it's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's things like that, and people can stay connected and they can see basically when things are happening as long as someone's tweeting or updating you online. So I think that's pretty huge, and people get to follow all of us, get to see what's going on, and get to kind of get a look into our lives.
And for all the riders, really, I just think it's a good way for you to kind of communicate with your fans, and they can directly talk to you and have a little bit of communication and help them kind of, know what you're up to a little bit.
I got Twitter about, I think, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, and it was when it first came out, and I remember getting kind of clowned, by people like, oh, you got Twitter, what's that? And then now everybody has one, so instead of watching interviews, the riders can kind of tell what they want to tell, so whether I want to tell them I'm watching Predator right now or tell them I'm about to go out hanging out with Jim Holly, it's all up to me.
To hear what the riders are posting, how they're thinking, not only during the week and what they're doing, get a little insight into their week, but also into their weekend and what they're doing with bike setup, how they feel, how things are going, how they're coping with a great race or maybe a race that didn't go quite the way they wanted. You know, I think it gives the fans just the ability to really be in touch and get a good appreciation and understanding of what's really going on out here.
Round 9 would take place in the gateway to the West, St. Louis. However, the outlook looked bleak for Ryan Dungey heading into Saturday, as the KTM Red Bull rider suffered an injury while practicing earlier in the week. With the main event on the horizon, all eyes would be on the number 5. Just prior to the race, a special ceremony recognized Kevin Windham, who after the previous round had completed his 200th career Supercross start. At the start, it became clear that some new names would be battling the top contenders at the top.
Villopoto is not going to get the hole shot. He's hugging the inside. The Nuclear Cowboys hole shot goes to Davey Millsaps.
And his teammate James Stewart was absolutely last going around the first turn.
Millsaps, Villopoto, Brayton, Windham, Dungey, Metcalf, all in the mix.
Things were again problematic for James Stewart.
James Stewart is already passing people inside and out. Oh, and he gets thrown. Stewart now is down on the ground as we watch Millsaps pulling away. Down goes Stewart and off they go.
As the race neared the halfway point, Dungey made his move.
And here comes Dungey, leaping past. Dungey trying to get inside on Davey Millsaps. Does it, but Millsaps comes back around the outside, can't make the move.
In lap 13, Dungey would focus in on second place Justin Brayton.
Dungey trying the inside. Brayton shuts the door.
Watch right here. Dungey cuts low. Let's see, gets next to him. This could be it.
The run through the rhythm section. The crowd behind him. Dungey's in second.
For his part, Stewart made the most of a sloppy start.
I tell you what, I'm looking at James Stewart here, and I expected him to just blow past his teammate.
Oh, there it is.
Like that.
There's the move.
Although Villopoto enjoyed the lead for most of the race, Dungey would give him a scare.
Look how close Dungey is, guys. Top of your
He's
screen
right
here.
He is right there.
Wow, you guys, I am really impressed with Ryan Dungey here. This is just an incredible ride.
Here he comes, though, to win number 5. Ryan Villopoto, 5-time winner in 2012, as he takes the checkers here in St. Louis.
Villopoto was back on top and pushed his lead over Dungey back to 13 in the overall standings. Brayton finished in 3rd. In the 20 previous times that the gate has dropped in Indianapolis, there had never been a first-time winner. But a group of fresh faces would quickly challenge that as the main event got underway.
Getting ready to go in Indianapolis. Main event is underway. Who got the hole shot? Mike Alessi, it looked like, on the 800, getting the Nuclear Cowboys hole shot.
Justin Brayton had tracked down Mike Alessi in lap 5.
Meanwhile, back to the battle for the lead, and it changes just like that. Brayton's up front.
Ryan Villopoto's climb towards the top would put him head-to-head with Brett Metcalf in a fight for 3rd.
Oh, the little bit of a door open there as Alessi bobbled, and Metcalf capitalizes here. That's it, right there. Metcalf to 2nd. Oh, and look at Villopoto trying to get around Alessi. Can he get it too? Yes, he's to 3rd.
Another veteran would go down at the race's midway point as Kevin Windham had to be helped off the track after a frightening crash.
Here he's taking Alessi for the position. This is what, oh, he gets into the back of Alessi.
Wow.
And there was going to be a tough block in his way anyway.
Brayton held down first as the race entered the final few laps, but Muscle Milk Honda wasn't out of the woods just yet as Villopoto zeroed in.
I tell you, if Brayton jumped through the whoops like Brett Metcalf is and Ryan Villopoto, life would be much easier.
Here we go. There it is, right there.
Villopoto would take the top spot at Indianapolis for the 3rd straight year.
Ryan Villopoto's done it again in 2012, taking the win in Indianapolis.
Behind Villopoto on the podium were Brayton, whose 2nd place finish was the best of his career, and Davey Millsaps, who edged out Metcalf for 3rd to finish on the podium for the 2nd straight week. Villopoto's lead over the competition swelled to 54 points as he closed in on back-to-back Monster Energy Supercross titles. Supercross headed north of the border for round 12 as the strong contingent of Canadian Supercross fans piled into the Rogers Center. With 3 of the season's race winners out of commission, Toronto was another opportunity for some of the season's riders to pick up their first ever victory.
Millsaps tries to get the drive. Brayton! Can Brayton do it? Brayton with the Nuclear Cowboys hole shot!
While Brayton enjoyed the early lead, Villopoto crept closer towards the end of the first lap. A week after taking a scary tumble off his bike, Kevin Windham started to make a push for the podium at the race's midpoint, and after a long battle with Davey Millsaps, would take control of 4th on lap 9.
Here he comes, looking inside on Millsaps.
A short time later, Windham would put Jake Weimer in his sights and would take control, while Weimer found himself off the track.
And you notice that
Weimer's
off the track.
Jumped right off the track. Over the berm he went and out of the ballpark.
Lucky number 7 was in the cards for Ryan Villopoto. The Monster Energy Kawasaki rider had his 7th race win of the season and was close to clinching the 2012 title.
Ryan Villopoto lights the candles here in Toronto. Another win in 2012 and the march towards a 2nd championship.
Villopoto would be followed by Brayton and then Windham on the podium.
The bike was really working really good on the whole track other than the whoops, really. You know, I don't think anybody's bike was working really good there. If you tried to jump, your foot pegs would drag, so and there was no skimming them. So it was really hard. You had to stay patient, you know, and just kind of ease your way through them. But close calls, but the bike was working great. So Monster Energy Kawasaki have really done their job, and Dunlop tires and you know, Falcon tires, everybody at Jeff Fox, Parts Unlimited, and Thor, and everybody, thank you.
Before the biggest stars in the sport tear up the track under the lights, fans of all ages get a chance to get up close with their favorite riders at the Monster Energy Pit Party. Fans gain access to the pit party by bringing an empty Monster Energy can to the gate along with their ticket. The program is not only a great value for the fans, but also helps promote recycling. Autographs, photos, promotional giveaways, and a truly remarkable pre-race atmosphere that's like no other in sports.
The pit party here at Supercross is amazing. It's actually gotten huge, especially since I came in back in 2002. It's a place where the fans can get autographs and then have a chance to hang out, really see what Supercross is all about. Everybody's done a good job at it, so I think it's, as us riders, we don't really get to hang out over there. As far as the fans, it's awesome, and I think it's a huge part of Supercross and what draws people here.
I think the pit party, best describe it is, I mean, just for me being a fan of sports in general, you know, like I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan, you know, NBA, so I know that I can't go to Staples Center and, you know, sit in the stands and get an autograph off of Kobe, you know. It's what's cool about this and unique about this is, you know, we're all here, the tent's set up, you know, we're focused on the job, but for an hour out of the day, you know, we sit down and sign autographs, as many as we possibly can. So I think the actual fan gets to interact with us, and then a lot of the cool industry sponsors are all here with their cool things, and, you know, for the single males, man, all the girls are out here chilling it, especially in SoCal. So it's a blast out here. I love being a part of it.
On race day, the pit party is out of hand. It's really cool because these are basically our homes on the road. You know, these semis, they house all the parts and bikes and hospitality, everything. And when the pits are open, all the fans come in here, the atmosphere is just kind of electric. So there's a lot going on. It's really cool to kind of get up close and personal with everything, and to experience it at a close level, it's unbelievable.
You know, we sign autographs. There's a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of fun things for kids to do. I don't think you can get any closer to the factory dirt bikes, but you know, you're about 5 feet away from them, and the mechanics are all hanging out, and it's just a great time.
Pit party is awesome. You know, it's unfortunately I've never got to really get into the pit party because I'm here racing for the pit party. So I know it's awesome. It's a lot of fans get to hang out. They get to come and ride up to the trucks, check out the bikes, get jerseys, get pants, get goggles, get up close with all of us riders. So it's a pretty cool experience.
In Supercross, you can get up close and personal. You can see the bikes, you can see the riders, you can talk to the riders, and I believe that's great for the fans that come out, interact with everybody in the pit party. And there's so many different things outside of just meeting the riders. There's really cool things that they can get involved with in the pits and just make it a full day activity.
Well, the pit parties at Supercross are amazing. I mean, they have so much entertainment, both from the promoters and Feld, as well as every team. They all have their riders, accessible, and we do autographs and hang out. And it's nice because the interaction's there, especially for guys like me who's been around for a while. You see the fans of Supercross, a lot of them time and time again, and you remember faces and stories. It's a huge part for me of what I do, and I think it's a huge part for the fans as well. I mean, I think it's something that makes Supercross special, and as most of the people who come to races either ride or have rode before, I think that there's a bond there, and it really brings the fan into part of the night instead of just kind of a bystander to what's going on. I think it really brings fan and athlete close together, and I think it's something that both riders and fans can benefit from.
For the 46th time, the gate would drop in Houston. But before the main event, the crowd at Reliance Stadium was treated to some early fireworks in one of the night's heat races as Kevin Windham and a returning James Stewart went head-to-head.
Here comes Windham, way up on the gas with a great move. Stewart into this fast sweeper. He's got the inside line again. Windham back on the gas to the whoop section. Windham able to hold on, but for how long?
Closed up.
Stewart through the woods, right up the inside on Windham.
In the final lap, however, a stunning turn of events shocked the close to 49,000 in attendance.
Could Windham
trying to make a run out of here? Can he make a charge? Oh, Windham over the bars! Windham was coming right after him and goes over the bars.
The result of the crash, a separated shoulder that would prematurely end Windham's season. As the main event got underway, Ryan Villopoto was on the cusp of history. He was only minutes away from becoming the 5th rider ever to win back-to-back titles.
Gate drop from Houston right now! Who's gonna get the Nuclear Cowboys hole shot? How about Davey Millsaps on the 18? Villopoto wants that title. Here he goes, right into the lead.
After his heat race victory, Stewart was rising through the track with some aggressive riding, taking out Kyle Regal and putting himself in contention. However, in lap 7, things would take an unfortunate and startling turn.
He's got his work cut out for him.
There he comes. He sits in ninth, and down he goes. James Stewart is down. That's going to wrap up the championship.
Goes to triple on and goes a little far. We talked about that earlier. Remember, I made the note that if you go a little too far on that, your front wheel will drop.
Villopoto was in cruise control as he put himself in the record books in style, winning his 8th race of the season and 3rd in a row.
When it comes to riding dirt bikes, no matter what the discipline has been, for the last year and a half, nobody has been better than this man. The 2012 Monster Energy AMA Supercross FIM World Championship goes to the Monster Energy Supercross rider, Ryan Villopoto. He will be #1 again.
Never in 38 years had someone clinched the title so soon in the season. Villopoto became the first rider since Ricky Carmichael in the 2005 and 2006 seasons to win back-to-back championships.
It's unreal. It's to make it 2 in a row, it's pretty amazing. That's all I can say is thank you to my team. You couldn't do it without them.
For the first time in 3 years, Supercross headed back to New Orleans. The battle for second between Davey Millsaps and Justin Brayton was grabbing some headlines, but from the start, it was the champion who once again came into focus.
And Villopoto gets a Nuclear Cowboys hole shot. Millsaps is on the ground. His Yamaha is down.
With Millsaps struggling out of the gate, Brayton looked to capitalize and went head-to-head with Brett Metcalf for 4th in lap 6.
Oh, we're still early in the race, only 6 laps out of the 20 total.
Comes Brayton up the inside. Gets the spot
makes
for
a
Millsap.
great move.
Metcalf.
One great story of the night was the ascent of Jeff Ward Racing Kawasaki's Josh Grant, who controlled 2nd place for nearly the whole night. It was Grant's 4th race back since a shoulder injury sidelined him for 7 weeks. Another rider enjoying a fine return to the track was LNMC Racing Honda's Andrew Short, who missed 8 weeks due to a shoulder injury and found himself trying to hold off Metcalf in lap 11 in a fight for 5th.
Now Short's starting to back up, and Metcalf's fitness is starting to show through.
Well, you can just see it in their riding position and how those guys are attacking the track. You can see Metcalf looking way more aggressive in his riding position, and it shows right there.
Looking for precious points, Brayton began to pressure Moto Concept Suzuki's Mike Alessi for 3rd in lap 15.
Alessi's catching a little bit of lap traffic. That's going to allow Brayton to catch right up.
Oh, and he has contact.
He's down.
And he's down. He got together with Sipes, and that took him to the ground.
For the 9th time this season, Ryan Villopoto would claim the top spot.
They are about to win number 9 in 2012. The champ takes another one.
Finishing behind Villopoto on the podium were Grant and Brayton. Brayton now trailed Millsaps by 5 for 2nd in the overall standings. Ryan Villopoto was back in his hometown for round 15, and Seattle was also special for Ryan Dungey, who was returning to the track after breaking his collarbone. With the 2 Ryans again headlining affairs, a sense of normalcy was in the air. But when things got underway, this Seattle night proved to be anything but normal.
Who's going to get the whole shot? Roxon was right there. Andrew Short gets the Nuclear Cowboys whole shot and the lead.
Struggling out of the gate, things went from bad to worse for Villopoto.
Oh, down goes Villopoto. Ryan Villopoto is down on the ground and very slow to get up.
No.
Can you believe it?
The crash would finish Villopoto's night and put a sour end to his homecoming. With the field wide open, Andrew Short was taking full advantage and was in prime position to claim his first ever Supercross win. But he'd soon find himself challenged by a promising newcomer.
Here comes Roxon. He's challenging Short. That's the fight for the lead, and the crowd is into it here in Seattle.
Chad and I were watching this earlier today in qualifying practice.
Oh, here he comes. Can't get it done, and Short holds him on.
To the inside, here comes Roxon for the lead.
Good move, but Short gets to drive out of the corner.
While Ken Roxon was tangling for the night's top spot, his Red Bull KTM teammate Ryan Dungey was slowly making his way up and challenging Justin Brayton in a fight for 4th. However, things wouldn't quite go as planned for the ex-champion in lap 6.
Oh, down goes Dungey. Dungey is down, and Millsaps goes around him.
With Roxon well behind him, Short had the finish in his sights and would soak up every second of his accomplishment.
Andrew Short just wants one. Here it is. Andrew Short gets his first career win in Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship.
Finishing behind Short in 2nd was Roxon, while Monster Energy Kawasaki's Jake Weimer took 3rd, his 4th podium finish of the season. Unfortunately, Ryan Villopoto's injury in Seattle would prove to be significant. The back-to-back champion would undergo knee surgery, prematurely ending his season. With the champion sidelined, who would shine at Rice-Eccles Stadium? The rider currently in 2nd place in the overall standings would get off to a bright start.
The Nuclear Cowboys whole shot goes to Davey Millsaps on the 18.
While Millsaps rode ahead, Dungey was focused on a battle with Weimer for 2nd place in lap 8.
Going for 2nd. Over the finish line, jump crowd getting into it. Cuts inside of Weimer. Got him.
See if there's any retaliation.
Here he comes again. Weimer takes him right into our camera. Dungey's down. Right into our CBS camera.
It was just, all right, let's get back up. Let's put our head down and keep knocking off laps. And And sure enough, you know, lap times were really, was getting down good in the lap times and started closing the gap between Weimer.
Dungey would recover and eclipse Weimer for second place in lap 16. The KTM rider wasn't done as he closed in on Millsaps towards the end of lap 18.
Set my eyes on Millsaps, and I remember looking at the leaderboard. I was like, 3 laps, man, it's going to be pretty close. And I got right up on him, and he ended up making a mistake in a rhythm section.
Last lap around, Dungey had a 47.2. Millsaps was 0.7 of a second slower. It's about 3 seconds.
Millsaps bobbles. Dungey goes right by. 1 lap remaining here in Salt Lake City, and the battle is on for the lead. Here comes Millsaps. Ryan Dungey's gonna win Salt Lake.
That was a great one. You know, anytime you can come from behind, especially getting taken out by another guy, and to win, it's a fun victory. You know, it makes it really exciting, and I knew the fans were pretty pumped. You could hear them all night, and a great crowd.
Dungey's win brought him to within 12 points of Millsaps for second place, while Justin Brayton now trailed Millsaps by 7. With the championship already decided, the second place clash between Davey Millsaps, Justin Brayton, and Ryan Dungey would captivate the Las Vegas crowd at the final round of the season. The electrifying atmosphere reached a fever pitch as the main event got underway.
Alessi trying to get around there. Dungey's right with him. Look at Alessi with the leg out.
But before the first lap was even over, Ryan Dungey surged towards Alessi.
Dungey, can he get second in the championship? Gets inside. Boy, for a guy who's patient, he sure wasn't there.
As he attempted to climb through the pack, Davey Millsaps first had to survive a scare in lap 3.
Oh, Millsaps! He can't afford that!
By lap 8, Millsaps was nipping at the heels of Jake Weimer for second place, and the two engaged in an adrenaline-packed showdown.
Look at these guys. Trying to be impressive, and Millsaps shows him the speed. Weimer counters back.
Those guys were zigzagging all around through the whoops, and
they touch! They both have a problem. Weimer and Millsaps come together. Great saves by both of them.
I'm liking the way Millsaps is riding tonight.
Outside Ricky, coming back inside, cuts across the roost.
With 10 laps to go, Millsaps continued to pressure Weimer.
Here comes Millsaps. Got him that time.
Stays low, no chance of retaliation on that one.
But there was no doubt who the night's top rider was, as Dungey easily outdistanced the competition for his 4th win of the season.
The 2012 Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship season comes to a close, and Ryan Dungey completes the year with his 4th victory for the Red Bull KTM team.
Track was really rough out there, but really helped getting off to a good start, pulling out a little gap, and taking the win.
Millsaps would capture second place in Vegas and also take home second in the final overall standings. Brayton finished in 3rd on the night and finished tied with Dungey in the overall standings. But Dungey's 4 race wins gave him the tiebreaker and a 3rd place finish on the season. As the focus turns to 2013, question marks dominate the headlines. Can past champions Ryan Dungey, Chad Reed, and James Stewart stay healthy and challenge for the title again? Will up-and-comers like Justin Barcia crash the championship chase? And can anyone derail Villopoto's dominance? The 2013 season is one you won't want to miss. See you next year as the season kicks off in Anaheim.